What is going on, everybody? Welcome to some more Aviassembly. Quickly becoming one of my favorite games. And while I was setting up the stream, I went ahead and made a prototype drone because yesterday, when trying to set some speed records, I wanted to make a drone. And I didn't really know how to start, and so I went ahead and did a little bit of testing, and this is where the testing led. What I want to tell everybody about making a drone in this game is that if you were to just have these back props and these front props right here, this plane, or I should say helicopter, would not work. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I made, what it does. It does have no wheels, because, I mean, does it really need them? Essentially, I have to control this thing with two different sets of controls. So if you look over here, we have control 1 and control 2. Okay, sorry about the dog. So if you look over here, we have control 1. We have control... Luna! No barking, buddy! Well, I guess I have some editing to do now. No barking. No. No. Alright, so we have throttle 1, we have throttle 2. With these two different throttles, we can control the back props on one, and then we control the front props as well as the actual mid props on the other. So as you can see, that gives us a little bit of forward, and if we really give it a little bit more, we actually will take off. And this is a fully controllable drone. You can turn it left, right, whatever you gotta do with it. Although it can't go negative speed if you don't have enough pull. But here, I'll go ahead and power it up so you can actually see how it works. Which one is it? That one. There we go. So, with that, you do have a fully working drone. It is pretty fun to fly, I cannot lie. And depending on which thing you have pushed in more, depends on what actually is getting pulled. So as you can see right now, it's just the back one's on, and it's just kind of holding us stalled in the air, although now we're going to start to fall. Let's go ahead and catch this drop real quick. And space, pull back, not quick enough. That is the basics of the drone. The reason that we have these props in the middle right here is if we go into the editor and we take these middle props off, what happens no matter how I do this is this plane will backflip on itself. So I'll show you if I turn the back ones on, it's going to backflip. If I turn the front ones on, it's going to backflip. Let's see, that'd be this one. Same thing. So we're either going to pull forward from the back, or we're going to pull forward from the front. That being said, you might be thinking, well, we can do some sort of little mixture here. No matter what your mixture is, it seems to want to flip backwards. But to correct that, all we have to do is put another set of props on somewhere on the side that give it some sort of forward momentum, which is why you've seen these little guys tucked on the side here. I hate that it's on the back like that. Nope, turn around. Oh wait, no, that was the front. What am I doing here? So that's why those were on there, to give it the forward mobility. And I did go ahead and save this one already, so you can see it in there. Another example of some kind of a drone we have is these helicopters. So while they do use jets and all that stuff, which is not what we're going for, they do use the upward VTOL kind of look. And then there's actually this one that is a fully working little prop helicopter. A little bit too much juice. There we go. We'll get it leveled out here. And this thing does work perfectly fine. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but, I mean, you can do whatever you gotta do with it. But it didn't quite land like a helicopter, which is why I wanted to build that other drone that you had just seen. This one's more of a helicopter, not a drone. Let's go ahead and pull up the prototype. So I want to take the concept here and make it more effective, because right now it has a lot of issues. Biggest issues I can tell you is it doesn't turn well. And we could go ahead and take wings, and I'll take an example here, and put them on there. And when we go ahead and fly, that'll solve the turning issue. because now we can actually get a nice turn in there. But how many helicopters do you see that have wings on the outside? Or drones even. So to solve that issue, we are going to probably use more throttles and more wings to actually make this thing function how it's supposed to. Because one of the thoughts I had is, okay, you could take this and... What am I doing here? Take these guys. We could spin them like this. I think it's like that. Put them both on the outside like that. What we'd have to do then is take this and do forward as left. And brake is the button next to it. Oh, actually that's the right, my bad. Just take that right. Left. Do K again, just so K is our kill switch. And I think this will somewhat solve the issues we're having. So it did start to roll it. I need to put forward momentum on it. Let's go and grab another set of little props. Put them there and go ahead. And we'll just do enough to get us lifted here. There we go. Get a little bit higher. So if we turn on left, does pull us left. If we go right, hang on, I get a little bit more lift. Let me click these on. So it does start to pull us heavily right. Try it again. Does make it a little bit unsteady. But it does make for a very quick turn. Well, now doesn't that give me so many ideas? Well, now that kind of looks official. But if we did that same thing on the back. Actually landed right about the same. Pull it in a little bit, pull it back a little bit. There we go. We could also hide the forward momentum as well and turn it down to nothing. We might look into doing that. Okay, it looks good. So what could I hide? Probably could hide a single jet right there. We can't. Okay, we're gonna need to turn its thrust down to pretty much nothing. And then we're gonna bring it inside here. And that's what it leaves us with. Okay. A little bit too much. Okay, we gotta turn down. Trying to think of what pulls off first here. Alright, so it's the front end. We gotta pull the front end back. Or pull the front end's engine speeds down. That's the back. That would make this the front. Let's just reposition it. Perfect. Let's give that another go. Okay, there must just not be enough forward momentum. We're gonna have to turn that jet up just a little bit if we can reach it. Let's see, it should be hitting right here. Let's see what that does. Okay, still too much on the front. Why does it do that? Let's see if that's enough. I wonder why do we keep doing this? Let's have everything facing the same way. Let's see what that does. Still just not enough. Okay, so we're gonna have to move the back to a different set. Just how we had it before. CX. Let's give it a try now. Looks like we've got to change one. Why does it gotta do this? What? Why? Let's give that a try. So it looks like the back pretty much controls the speed. And the front controls lift. Ah. Let's give that another test run here. Oh. It's gonna take a second to get used to get flying this thing. Alright. So spacing control is definitely our forward momentum, and C is actually going to be the speed to this thing. Bring the front end back down. And crank it. So if we brought that down, gave us a little bit more back push, and then gave it a little bit more there. Definitely some turning limitations. Let's get that front end up again. There we go. Alright, so I mean, it does work. Just has some interesting controls. Oh, that's not what we want to do. Alright, we got back at least. So that is a nightmare to control. Now, using what we found out here, though, could one take that same knowledge and possibly... Okay, so it's not going to let me do what I wanted. Or at least not like that. Let's go ahead and turn it a little bit. go ahead and do the same thing. Oh. I'm sure plenty of people can see where this is heading. All right. Why is there only one? There we go. There we go. Let's fly. I'm sure now all my controls are messed up. So definitely a lack of control right now. And I think we need to turn that jet engine up a little bit. Now, with that extra boost, does it make a difference? No. What if we turn the boost on that sucker all the way up? What's that gonna do? Okay, we're getting somewhere. Still not enough forward. Okay. I have an idea of how to fix that. And it's called more power. Let's see what it got. There we go. Still not even quite enough forward momentum. Okay, back to the drawing board. We also could move the center of gravity. Is that sitting a little bit far back? Let's see, fuel tanks should help. Still not forward enough. I didn't even see the struts. Okay, we're gonna have to go back and redo a few things there with those. But what to add weight with? You know what we can do? Let's see what that does. Still can't use it topped out like that. So, I mean, it does work. It's just not perfect. And those wings need tips on them because it just looks ugly. Nice. Well, I would actually call this a success. I think we're going to go ahead and put some tips on the end and have our drone completed. Let's go ahead and land it again. Suctions itself. Nice. Honestly, it kind of worked out. It just took two hidden little features to make this thing have enough movement to actually work. And let's go ahead and pinch that in. And then let's go ahead and push it in like that. Just that way it at least looks a little bit more normal, I guess. Not really, but I like to think it does in my head. Nice. So there is our little drone prototype type 2. How's it look on the runway? It looks really good. Go ahead and take a little screen cap of that. And there is our drone. So let's go ahead and take it back to the airport and see what we can do next. I think I'm going to leave the drone alone until we get a few more things, but seeing those struts and assemblies makes me want to do a little more with that. Let's go ahead and get rid of all of it. Let's get an open cab. Let's go ahead and make a true wood plane here. I go ahead and put some wood struts in there. We're gonna go for a real vintage look here, and we're gonna also put another set of wings on top. Not that I exactly know how to actually make this all work, but we're gonna figure it out. Well, that's gonna be interesting. Kind of like the look of it, though. Yeah, let's go ahead and leave it like that for right now. Let's go ahead and put a front onto it. And we'll slap a prop on the front. Push that back. Oh, you know what? Let's actually shrink that. Push it in a little bit like this. That looks nice. Okay, so we got the rear to do next. And I don't think we want it to be that long, but I do think we want it to be a little bit longer. And then we'll even actually, I think, make it a little thinner on the back. Something like that is what I'm thinking. Go ahead, shrink it up a little bit. There we go. Nice. All right, so wheel-wise, let's go ahead and put the steel wheels on it. And then it's gonna be a one small rear wheel plane. Yeah, let's see how that does. Honestly, for a little puddle jumper, this would not be a bad little plane. It doesn't go like extremely fast, but it would get the job done. Let's see how fast we can go up with it. Not very quick. And it also just turns terribly slow. Let's go ahead and try and land it. One thing we also haven't made is a glider. I've been saving that. So we'll probably get into that this episode today. But it looks like our little country glider here doesn't, or country plane doesn't do too bad. Actually, that'd make a really good shortstop plane. How quick can I land this thing? Let's go take a look at the airport. I think I could stop this thing on a dime, honestly. Alright, coming in, coming in. Pull back, pull back. Hit reverse. Oh yeah, we just need feet to land. That's a pretty good plane right there. Alright, we'll save it as the classic. I do like it. I think we could technically have put... Why? Never mind. We'll just leave that the way it was. Just gave me an idea for the drone plane, actually. I wonder if that even needs to be a cockpit. So let's test something. Okay, so there's no world where it wants to willingly snap. What about that? Ooh. Oh, I can see where this is heading already. What if we made a rocket? Okay, so we're gonna need a way to stand it up on the runway. That could be interesting. So I think those would have to be further up here. There's no way this thing actually flies, right? Don't turn very well, but... I mean, it definitely flies. Oh, this gives me so many bad ideas. Oh, this is great. I love this so much. How how is that going to function? I don't know what any of this is doing. Sorry for the lack of explanation. I am more just feeding my own curiosity right now. The response time is incredible. But we've built our first unmanned plane in Aviassembly here. Let's go ahead and bring it back down to the ground. I'm just curious if that drag will actually push it upwards. That thing flies so well. And let's take it to space. What an interesting unmanned ship we made there. I think we gotta keep making this a little bit more interesting, because it's cool, but it could just be so much more cool. Oh, what if we made this like an unmanned dropping ship? Hang on. Do we know how decouplers work? No. Well, we're gonna figure it out. Let's go ahead and turn these into squares. Where'd the decouplers go? Let's go ahead and extend this. So we built a bomber. Interesting. Will this actually function? Let me look up something. Trying to just figure out what the decoupler button is here real quick. Okay, so it looks like the H button is going to drop the payload here. So let's go ahead and, you know what? Let's go red on the tip and then black on the rest of it. And let's go ahead and see if we can drop a bomb in Aviassembly. Alright, so we got off the ground here. Let's go ahead and hit our decoupler button. Oh yeah, it fell. Wow, that really worked. Okay then, let's go back and see if we can find it. Should be somewhere in here, I'm thinking. Let's go a little quicker. Starting to think that thing was gone. Let's push it down the runway and see if we can find it here. Should have been somewhat in a straight path, right? Yeah, I think that might just be gone now, but that was absolutely successful. We just built a bomber in Aviassembly somehow. Let's go ahead and take a look here. And I have a crazy idea for that thing on the front, if we're able to find this thing. Yeah, let's go ahead and go back to base and just do a little test here. Right on the runway. I don't want any more speed than it's going to take me to get off. Oh, there it goes. Alright, so it goes right into the ground. So we are theoretically dropping it, though, which is pretty awesome. Takes a second to decouple, but it does work indeed. Let's go and do one more little test here. Do I have to hold the button? Is that the secret? No, just rapidly tapping it. And it just absolutely launches out the back. Doesn't go at the bottom like I kind of wanted it to, but that's okay. I will call that an absolute success. This is a game called Aviassembly. I am just in the sandbox mode of it. Well, now knowing what we know, I think we could do probably even a little bit more with these decouplers. Let's go ahead and delete these off the front because they serve really no purpose, let's be honest. And then we could even bring these back. Oh, turn mirror on again. Could even bring these back down a little. So and just throw a little landing gear in the back there. So we built a bomber. Now let's go ahead and take that and put it into a little bit different of a practice. Because I think we could possibly make a multi-bomber here. So let's... What is even the key block on this thing? Right there? Let's go ahead and pull out our fighter plane here. I think it's this one. And let's go ahead and... Actually, I want the bigger one. Sorry, my name on some of these things are not the best. Dragonfly, car, all wings. Guessing it's fast, right? Nope. Alright, so we're gonna have to go ahead and build one, which is okay. Let's go ahead and build a bomber. So when I think of bomber, I'm thinking of stealth. So I would say we're probably gonna need this cockpit. We are going to need a body that becomes quite flat as it goes on. Flat and wide. We're probably going to go for like a, I don't know, F-15 kind of look. I guess is is what I have in my head. Probably not how it's going to turn out, but let's go even a little bit longer on it. Alright, we will need, let's turn mirror off, put the big wheel on the front. Turn mirror back on. Put 2 on the back. That works. Can we make this any wider? Oh, wrong one. Just a little. Like usual, put another one on the back here just to really pull it in. We'll also go ahead and push it in just a tad. Let's go ahead and put the big tail wings on it. With the big delta wings. That's looking very jet-like. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and make sure the engines are something that can go on the top. I guarantee you those don't pump out enough thrust to get this thing in the air. Although 4 of them might. Let's go ahead and rotate it. Let's go ahead and shrink the backside. And then we'll go ahead and put little wings on them. And in theory, we have a bomber. You know what? Let's go ahead and pull these under here as well. You know, facing right at those missiles. Let's go ahead and do a little color in here. Engines aren't paintable. Alright, let's go ahead and give it a test flight and see if we're able to successfully drop them. Front wheel lower than rear. Is that actually the truth? Didn't seem right. No, let's go ahead and just put a big fronting landing gear on there then. Alright, let's go ahead and do test number 1. We'll go ahead and 3, 2, 1, dropping! And they're away! That's actually kind of crazy. Well, let's see if we can find the airport here. There it is. But dang, I got a lot of speed to burn. Alright, we overshot slightly, but we got there in the end. Thank you, thank you. I don't know why. Once I seen those decouplers, I felt like I needed to make something. So yeah, this is our bomb and jet. We'll go ahead and save that as the F-15. Okay. Anyone else have anything they'd like to see made? Because that kind of went crazy once I figured that out. I still want to do something with these balloons. Wait. Let me let's go ahead and get this thing airborne. Oh, the parachutes worked! Oh, that is so dope. Okay, so the little balloons became parachutes. Make a MiG-23. Let's see what we can do here. Oof, that's gonna be actually a little bit interesting. Okay. I feel like I kind of need to start with that nose cone to actually pull this off. It's gonna have a squarer body than a lot of the planes we usually have. From what I'm seeing. And we could probably do a little bit of editing on the shape. But it's not terrible. Yeah, this also might be too sharp. Yeah, this might not actually look like a MiG when it's all said and done. Because that thing is going to take a second for me to build. I need the right type of wings. Those are tail wings. And then the MiG has its engines somewhere under there. Now the tail is where this thing's gonna get complicated. Because it's gonna go into an extremely thin tail. Might even need just a little longer. I mean, definitely not exact, but it is actually a nice looking plane. These ones? Or these ones, yeah. And then it looks like a lot of these do carry rockets, so we're gonna definitely have to put some rockets on there. And it looks like we're gonna turn that back into another engine from the looks of it. Because that is a straight up jet engine coming out of the back, what I'm looking at. Okay. Landing gear is going to be one in the front, two in the back. Big boys in the back. And then just one big one in the front there. Oh wait, no, we actually want our front wheel lower. What am I doing? Let's go ahead and give it a payload like we did the last one. And squish, squish. Hang on. All right, we'll have to rotate it a little bit. All right, what do we think? Oh, thank you very much, 320 Plants. I appreciate you. Ooh, actually, hang on. We gotta move these back up. And we gotta give it a little bit of color. From what I've seen, most of these are brown and camo, so that's probably the way we're gonna go with this, is brown. But we'll go ahead and try and give it a little bit of a camo pattern. That's about all I can actually color on this thing. And then the missiles I've seen were all silver. So that is what we ended up making. Ooh, hang on. There we go. Now we have a fully little camoed out attempt at a MiG-23. Let's go ahead and do one last thing here. And that would be putting... Oh. You know what? Never mind on the parachute. We're just going to drop them. All right. Let's go ahead and see if this thing flies. Attempt number 1. Might have put my landing gear down a little soon there. And these little missiles are going to... Okay, I just realized I need to take the thrust off the rockets. Oh, no. Okay, hang on. Oh, not the right key to try and set it to, clearly. Let's see if that fixes it. Alright, that's a little bit better this time. Let's go and bring our speed down. We will go ahead and turn on the throttle on number 4 just so we can see it. And let's drop them. There they go. Alright. So that was actually pretty fun. Kind of stupid my voiceovers, but just thought I'd do it for the dramatic effect. And let's go ahead and take this thing back to base since we completed our mission. And we should be good to go. I might have lost the runway. Says it's somewhere right there, and it was. Let's go and burn off some speed. Not quite making the runway, but that's okay. Landing gear's a little bit too thin on this thing, but we made it back. We'll go ahead and save this one as MiG. Let's go ahead and make something a little bit more civilian-like this time. And I want to make an absolute heavy hauler of a plane. Let's go ahead and extend this. Bring the height down just a little. You know what? Actually, that looked kind of good squished all the way in. Okay. Oh, we still need to make a glider, and I keep forgetting about that. This thing's gonna need the big wings. Where's the center of gravity on this thing? There we go, that should give us lift. No, that's gonna be too much wing. Although, I do kind of like the idea of doing this. There we go. Okay, and this thing's gonna need some serious power to move down the runway. go ahead and put a second one. A third one. It's interesting looking. That much is for sure. Only carries 1,000. Let's go ahead and give it a test flight before we try and cram even more inside of it. Let's give it a go. So, I mean, it is just at the point of flying, but it does fly. Question is, can it land? And it even landed without falling over. Kind of shocked by that one, I cannot lie. Alright, things I hate about this thing. I actually did not end up liking that back to it. Let's see if this works. Honestly, I think it has even less lift now. It is a little bit bigger, but I thought it would have a little more lift than it does. Got big plane can't exactly stop this thing on a dime. Okay. Does not like to stand up. That is for darn sure. What if we went ahead and gave it a little bit more power? So we're now at 10 engines. So it does not like to pull up, so we definitely do not have the wings in the right spot. I think there's water out here. I want to see how close it can ride. Because definitely base shape-wise, it wants to head into the ground. So we need to flatten out that bottom part, I think, to get a little bit more. And then move the wings back a little bit. But that is going to be for another stream. We have had a lot of